Whoever humbles himself like this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Matthew chapter 18 verses 1 to 4. Dear beloved disciples, greetings. Today's saying of Jesus is recorded in the Gospel of Matthew. We must think deeply about the words of Jesus. Simply reading them through and passing by will not do. At that time the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" He called a little child to him and placed the child among them. And he said, "Truly I tell you, unless you turn and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Today's message is about the little child. As adults, we cannot physically return to being children, but in our hearts and minds, we can become like little children. Jesus calls us to have the faith of a child. Let's hear the passage once again. Truly I tell you, unless you turn and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. If we do not become like little children, Jesus says, we cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Since he says we cannot enter, this is no small matter. When we think of being like a little child, some may say it means being humble. But is it really only about humility? What then is the difference between an adult and a little child? For example, if you wore socks with holes in them to a meeting, what would be the difference? An adult would be embarrassed and try to change socks. A little child wouldn't care at all. Exactly. Adults care about appearances and outward show. The same often happens in faith. Adults practice their faith while watching what others think. But if we live our faith this way, can we truly see ourselves as we are? It means we focus on the outside and ignore the inside. We must throw off such things, just like little children do. For Jesus says, the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. Adults also tend to value religious rituals. Yet such things may have nothing to do with Jesus at all. Faith is a one-on-one relationship between God and me. Why should we be concerned with others' opinions? What matters is the heart, our inner being. Jesus says, unless you turn and become like little children, he is calling us to turn. Turn what? Our hearts. We must throw off formal, ritualistic faith, and we must not chase after titles or positions, whether elder, deacon, or ordained deacon. These things are not what matters. Therefore, whoever humbles himself like this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Adults care about who is greater. That is why they asked, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? That is the way of the adult world. But a little child is different. To a child, everyone is a friend. There is no high or low. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything that I learned from my Father I have made known to you. John chapter 15, verses 12 to 15. Jesus said, love one another, and I have called you friends. Can there be high or low among those gathered around Jesus? We are all friends, brothers and sisters in Christ. It means we share the words of Jesus with each other. Thus, we are friends who share our hearts. And so, we must not take the lead in watching over one another with suspicion or in condemning each other. Since he said love one another, we must not hate but instead understand and cherish one another. We must know this heart of Jesus. And we must have faith like that of a little child. Since Jesus said that only those who become like little children will enter the kingdom of heaven, we must think deeply about these words. That is all for today. May you always be at peace. Thank you.